Hi NIRSA colleagues, I'm back again here at the end of September. We're about to wrap up our season here at our outdoor pool at UNH, and so I thought I'd enjoy one of our last few days to use this space to visit with you today. Also, this time of year is when we have several colleagues who have decided to hit send on their application to stand for the board of directors and potentially some other leadership roles within the association. So one of the things I wanted to talk with you about today is the orientation process that board of directors members go through once you are elected. Because oftentimes I hear members, as they're considering standing, they're a little bit concerned that they don't feel like they're ready to put their name forward to stand. And so one of the aspects that I found helpful is to learn more about the onboarding process that we have for board of directors. Because while many folks have the competencies needed for the board of directors, each of us brings different skills and experiences to the position. And knowing that not everybody has the same experiences in NIRSA before you stand on the board. So for example, I was pretty involved with projects related to research and assessment, along with the leadership commission. Those were the most recent things I was involved with before standing for president. And so that means that there were other aspects of the association that I didn't have that much working knowledge of, or at least not current working knowledge of, as I stood for the board. And so everybody who's elected will come to the table with a varying degree of experiences on different things. So as we head into this election cycle, this will be the third year that we have an onboarding process that actually starts straight away from when the results of the election is made public, which happens around February. So right away in February, each elected colleague is paired with an existing board member, kind of like a mentor role. So the folks who were in the presidential track, I partnered with Lori and Stan to learn more about the position. And those who are elected for the at-large position would get partnered with the at-large directors as well. And so that happens immediately, and that's helpful to just have a go-to person to ask a lot of questions of. In addition, new board members are invited to participate in the remaining board meetings that happen for the rest of the year. So from, say, March through April, there's probably going to be about 4 meetings that you can sit in on and listen and kind of learn how especially a video meeting goes. I don't know how many people have been on video meetings before, but we've gotten a pretty good pattern down about how to communicate during a video meeting. So in addition to that, there's also a bunch of things to read, and so we provide everything from policy manuals to organizational charts to calendars, but then we also use some references or resources outside of the association that have been really helpful as well. An example of that would be Simon Sinek's TED Talk on Start With Why. That was a super helpful tool for the last several years. And then there's 2 books that we use that are focused on association management that have been quite helpful. One is called The Road to Relevance, and the other one is called Govern Well, which I can't remember the name of that one. The Will to Govern Well. I knew it was something like that. So those 2 books are helpful because it's not collegiate recreation focused, but it is focused on how successful associations run. So then once the leadership year starts on May 1st, the current format is that newly elected board members, along with the current president, go out to Corvallis and to the NIRSA headquarters for some meetings and orientation. And that's followed in June by leadership meetings, which is the full board of directors together, doing a little bit of orientation, but then also starting to do our work in person. We actually have been having discussions about combining those 2 trips into one trip where the entire board would go to NIRSA headquarters. So we're still evaluating that. It would reduce travel a little bit, which I know is a concern for folks who are standing for office as well. So, but I think that might be worth giving a try before we settle into the old model. The other thing that happens for folks who stand in the presidential track, there's some additional, I guess kind of training you'd call it, that happens during your first year. And part of that is by one of the responsibilities that you take on in the presidential track, which is to serve on the Nominations and Appointments Committee. And that is a great experience because in your second year you chair that committee. And so I think it's a really helpful strategy to have that person sit in on that committee, so at least you know how that committee works before you have to facilitate it. And then there's 2 trips that happen for the President Track that I found super helpful as well. One takes place in January, and that is an ASAE conference that focuses on association management. And it's typically just the president-elect, president-designee, and then Pam Watts as our executive director, where we learn a lot about just how associations function, but then also learn about how to work with each other as a team moving forward. And then the last one that the president participates in, actually as the president designee, so it's as soon as you start your second year in the President Track, you attend SHEMA, which is a higher ed association. It's like meetings of all different higher ed associations. So it's really helpful to meet other colleagues, whether they're from the orientation group or with housing, because we're all dealing with some kind of similar big picture issues. So it's nice to have that kind of connection and strategize together about how we can make progress. So that's kind of a quick overview of the orientation plan. Hopefully that's helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing it the next time. Thanks.